Okay, so one of the things you're going to have to do in this module, at least some of the time, is interact with the Windows command window, the command line syntax method of controlling the computer. So in this video I'm just going to show you some of the basic commands you need, the minimal commands you really need to do this. Becoming familiar with the command line is actually a very useful skill for computer scientists, because often it's possible to do things more quickly, and also it's possible to program the command line tools that are available for us. So the first thing I'm going to show you is actually how to move about the file system. Now, to try and make this look a little bit more like the computers in the lab, I've put in a USB drive here, the one called VS2013, and I've renamed it to P, which is obviously the same name as the drive that the university uses to store your files on the file servers. Rather than saying VS2013, yours will probably have your username there. If you double click that, then I've just created this test folder here, but you'll have some other things in here, like for example your desktop and so on, documents folder. Now down here I've also opened a command line window, and if I simply type in the drive letter name P, then that'll take us to this particular drive. And if I type the command dir, which stands for directory, this will list the files that are on this particular drive. So you can see here it says directory, test folder. If we look back here, you can see that there's a folder called test folder. Directory and folder in this context mean the same. Now if I create a new folder here, and let's call this programming, and then I go back here and I type dir again, you can see that the new folder has appeared here as well. I can actually do this both ways. I can actually create a new directory in the command line interface too. For example, I can type mkdir make directory, and I'm going to just call this test, and if I hit that, you can see that up here test has appeared. So the two are essentially interchangeable, and you can do most of what you need to do via the graphical Windows Explorer interface. However, you do need to be able to move around the file system. So another important command is cd, change directory. So if I now type cd programming, oops, that will change to the folder called programming. If I double click there, then we'll be in the same position. And if I now create a new folder called CS110, then again we'll find that CS110 has appeared here, and once again I can move to CS110. Now suppose we want to go back up to the level above. Well, we can do that with the ... command, just as we can hit the little up arrow here and go to the level folder above. Here I can do cd ... and that goes, as you can see, it did say programming CS110, and now it says programming, so we can go up to a level above, and I can go up another level as well. You can move up and down multiple levels at the same time. So suppose we want to go back to our CS110 folder, which is in the programming folder, then I can type cd programming /CS110. The backslash is what's called the path separator, and it plays the same role as the little tiny arrow here, the little tiny right arrow in this view here. Okay, so now we've gone back to our CS110 folder within programming in one step rather than doing it in two, and as you can imagine I can go back up 2 steps to cd ... /.. One useful trick is that the system will automatically complete things for you. So if I type CSPR and then I just hit the tab key, it automatically works out there's only one folder called programming, so it completes the rest of it for me. And again I can put /C and do the same again, so that can save you quite a lot of typing. So those are really the only commands you need to use for the command line interface. Becoming familiar with some others, and there's lots of website tutorials on this, will be helpful, but these are the essential ones: the dir command, the cd command, and the drive letter command if you're working within the labs, or you wish to store your files on an external drive or a USB drive.